A $1.5 million fine dumped on a U.S. firm by Beijing, marking China's latest clampdown on Western businesses. A friendly gesture toward China. Washington removing 27 Chinese companies from its export blacklist. This as the U.S. Commerce Secretary prepares to visit China next week. A new move to beef up defense against China's nuclear missile threat. The U.S. and Japan hammering out the details for a major deal coming next year. Expected to become the biggest IPO of the year, a British tech firm reveals a revenue drop. Will slumped smartphone demand and a chunk of profit from China hit the company ahead of its public debut? What do you think? Let us know below and subscribe if you haven't already. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. A U.S. firm caught in the middle of U.S.-China tensions. Due diligence firm Mintz fined $1.5 million. It's the latest in a nationwide crackdown on foreign businesses in the name of national security. It's the same company that had its Beijing office closed by authorities in March, with 5 staff detained by police. In a statement dated July 14th, Beijing claimed that Mintz was engaged in foreign-related statistical investigation activities without obtaining approval and slapped on the fine. It gave no details on the nature of such investigations. As a due diligence firm, Mintz checks the backgrounds of new hires and gathers information for business partners. The company did not immediately respond to inquiries, but has previously said its operations in China are transparent and legal. Mintz has 60 days to file an appeal and 6 months to file an administrative suit. As Washington ramps up sanctions against Chinese industries, Mintz is just one example of a series of U.S. companies targeted in Beijing's counter-espionage campaign. From April through May, Chinese police raided 2 other U.S. consultancies, Capvision and Bain & Company. Last month, the regime broadened its anti-espionage laws around information sharing. The move has alarmed foreign investors. They're saying the crackdown damages investor confidence in the world's second-largest economy. Washington sending out a friendly gesture toward Beijing. The Commerce Department is removing 27 Chinese companies from the U.S. export controls list. This comes as Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo prepares to visit China next week by invitation from her Chinese counterpart. China praised the decision. The secretary's visit comes at a critical time. China's economy is in trouble, and some economists fear that the negative impact could eventually reach beyond China's borders. Consumer prices are falling, a real estate crisis is deepening, exports are slumping, and youth unemployment is hitting a record high. The Chinese yuan also fell to its lowest level in 16 years. A wide range of discussions will be on the agenda. Topics include challenges faced by U.S. businesses in China, the U.S.-China commercial relationship, and other areas for potential cooperation. U.S. officials are playing down expectations. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the administration does not expect a big outcome out of the visit. A new joint force and an answer to China's hypersonic threat. The Pentagon said Washington is finalizing a deal with Japan. That's to develop a new missile able to intercept hypersonic weapons. Here are the details.
Called GPI, the weapon would be designed to destroy hypersonic missiles mid-flight. Funding and timing are still in the works. That's according to Martin Miners, a Pentagon spokesperson. In 2021, news broke that Beijing tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile. It set off alarm bells in Washington because Beijing could use it to strike the U.S. What's more, American defenses would struggle to detect or destroy it after it's launched.
And it means you launch a nuclear weapon or any kind of weapon into space, into orbit, and it stays there. Then you tell it to come in and destroy something. And it can come from any direction. So missile defense or preparations don't work against it. In fact, there's almost no warning time. This is the shock value. It's a shock weapon.
U.S.-Japanese plans to co-develop the new weapon came last Friday after President Biden hosted leaders from Japan and South Korea. The press release did not name China. Instead, it described the weapon's development as a pressing need, slated to help address challenges in the Indo-Pacific region. The U.S. tapped several arms suppliers for the project. That includes Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman. Raytheon previously said it would be impossible to decouple from China because it has several thousand suppliers in the country.
A dip in smartphone sales hitting a company primed to become the largest IPO in 2 years. ARM Holdings designs microchips and other advanced computing tech. This week, it's reporting a 1% annual revenue drop, with sales falling to $2.6 billion in the 12 months ending in late March. Over half its total revenue last year came from smartphones and consumer electronics. The sales drop follows slumped demand for the devices this year, with data showing the market is set to dive to a decade low this year. The British company noted the slowdown in paperwork for its upcoming initial public offering, expected to hit the market at $8 to $10 billion next month. But the comparatively minor revenue drop suggests ARM's business is still going strong in other areas, like cloud computing. The firm's chip designs are also used in laptops made by Apple and some Windows machines. Worth noting, ARM said 24% of its revenue came from China in its most recent fiscal year. But British and U.S. export controls, plus a downturn in the Chinese economy, will likely drop that figure. Its stock market launch is expected to boost the dragging IPO market. That's after many high-profile startups put off their listing plans due to market volatility. ARM hasn't revealed how many shares it's planning to sell or the valuation it would seek. Where is Chinese leader Xi Jinping? Xi skipped a scheduled speech at a business forum in South Africa, sending his Commerce Minister Wang instead. The unusual absence is raising eyebrows. The latest report spotted Xi attending lunch with the South African president shortly before the forum. Made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the organization is holding a 3-day meeting in South Africa. Russian President Putin is joining via video link, given the arrest warrant placed on him over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. An official revealed that at least 40 countries have shown interest in joining BRICS, including Washington's biggest ally in the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates. Chinese leader Xi Jinping skipped his scheduled speech at the BRICS Business Forum on Tuesday, a prelude to the group's summit in South Africa. China's Commerce Minister stepped in to read Xi's speech. Let's take a closer look at BRICS and why it matters for the West.
The group of emerging economies known as BRICS makes up more than 40% of the world's population and a quarter of the global economy. And more countries want to join the club, which aims to challenge a world order seen to be dominated by the US and its Western allies. But what exactly is BRICS? Who wants in? And why? Underscoring the growth potential of Brazil, Russia, India, and China, a chief economist at Goldman Sachs came up with the BRIC acronym in 2001. The group was founded as an informal club in 2009. Its creation initiated by Russia. South Africa joined the following year. It's the smallest member in terms of economic clout and population. BRICS is not a formal multilateral organization like the UN or World Bank. Its leaders usually get together annually, with each nation rotating through a 1-year chairmanship of the group. The bloc operates by consensus. Apart from geopolitics, the group's focus includes economic cooperation and increasing multilateral trade and development. And that's attracting others. This year's chair, South Africa, says over 40 countries have expressed interest in joining. Iran has said it hopes the club will pin down the new membership process as soon as possible. Oil heavyweight Saudi Arabia has the backing of Russia and Brazil. And Argentina says it has China's support. One of Africa's fastest growing economies, Ethiopia, says it's asked to join. Bolivia appears interested too. In July, the country turned to the Chinese yuan, saying it wanted to curb dependence on the US dollar for foreign trade. That move aligns with BRICS' stated aim. The same month, Algeria said it applied for membership and to become a shareholder in the so-called BRICS Bank, or New Development Bank. Still, current members are divided over expansion. China wants the group to get bigger as it tussles with the US over trade and geopolitics. South Africa and Russia, which hopes to thaw its diplomatic isolation over the Ukraine war, are also keen to see the group grow. But Brazil is more skeptical, and India is undecided.
An arms race down under. Canberra announced a new round of missile deals with the U.S. Monday, clocking in at a staggering $1 billion. The package includes 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles and 60 advanced anti-radiation guided missiles. The Tomahawk missiles boast a range of over 900 miles. After the deal, they'll be owned by 3 nations in total: Australia, the U.S., and Britain. Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles says the move is backed by the nation's latest defence review. It recommends that Australia adopt a strategy to keep enemies at bay. The purchase also follows a weekend interview with Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong. She was asked if Australia and China were in an arms race and if China was making the world more dangerous. Wong declined to comment directly, but had this to say.
Between the great powers, we know what is happening in our region. We've seen recently exercises in the Taiwan Strait.
Wong added that Canberra had been upfront about the military buildup in the Indo-Pacific region. That's it for today's China in Focus on YouTube. We're now sharing a shortened version of our program here after being demonetized for 2 years. Here's what to look out for in our second half. Chinese leader Xi Jinping skipping his scheduled speech at a major business forum, leaving many asking if something's amiss. And a U.S. due diligence firm slapped with a $1.5 million fine. What's the business environment inside China like now? We hear from James Gorey, author, writer, and blogger, for more. The full episode is available on our partner platform, Epic TV. To sign up, click the link down below. Thanks for watching China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. See you tomorrow.